And now people are doing same-day edits where it's like that is the product. I mean, Joe, do you offer that where that is the only product?
Both my weddings next week are only same-day edits. That's all they get.
That's insane. I don't even get how you do that. Explain that to me.
Did my first one in 1990.
Yeah, that's what he said, on tape?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I actually think the same-day edit has been one of the best PR pieces for our industry. You know, I talk about wedding cinematography, wedding movie making being difficult. You're knocking it up a notch when you're doing that same-day edit. But what a fabulous thing to be doing for your own career and for the career of all of us. Every time one of us produces a little bit better product, convinces another person, convinces another vendor that this is an art form, it's good for all of us. So we don't do a lot of same-day edits because it's a the logistics have to be all just right.
Yeah.
So somebody is editing the whole time while you're...
Yeah, I have a 3 to 4 person crew. One person just assistant that just runs battery charging, runs tapes or cards, whatever we're shooting on. Myself a shooter, my second shooter, and an editor. So one guy just edits the whole time. It's really stressful and hectic because I mean you're shooting, getting someone to run the card back, get it edited, and all day just like that. We play something about an hour after the first dance, and it includes, you know, pre-ceremony, the ceremony, clips from there, you know, the vows, and then the entrance and a clip or two from the first dance.
We had a same-day edit last summer at the St. Regis down in Monarch Bay, fabulous property, 400 guests. There you have to hire a wedding planner from the hotel. Coordinator calls me, she goes, I hear you're doing a same-day edit and distribution. Yes, we're going to hand out copies of the movie of the wedding to all the guests as they leave. And she says, I've been in the business 20 years, I've never heard of it. I don't think you can do it. I said, I have to, they already paid me. And then she says, well, I don't think you can do it in 1 hour. I said, you're right. We'll show it after the meal and then we'll hand out the DVDs at the end of the reception. She goes, they're not dancing, they're not having alcohol, they'll all leave within an hour. And I go, really? 400 guests at the St. Regis are gonna leave after an hour? She goes, John, you're from Riverside. People are more sophisticated here. Sure enough, at the end of 4 hours, they're flashing the lights trying to get these people out of the room. And I saw her take 6 of our copies, which I thought was pretty cool.
I don't know, I mean, in a way, I don't really totally get it. So you were at the wedding. It's like, do I really want to watch that all over? I mean, I guess if it were a really condensed 2-minute and just pump me up, then it would
I've heard that before, but no, it's a whole different perspective. Hearing the emotion in the vows, the slow motion, the glamour shots of the bride. Yeah. No, it's what you didn't see.
Most guests have never seen it before, so when they see that play, they're like, how'd this even happen? You know, It's usually a surprise, so I tell my brides, don't tell your guests, we'll just have it play, and so they don't know it's coming. And then, you know, it's a great production, you know, we shoot with the equipment and edit it the same way as anything else we do. So it just looks like a film, and you know, people are blown away.
We did one in June that was a surprise to the bride and groom. They didn't know we were doing the same day edit. Yeah, they cried. They both cried. That was so rewarding. So, I'm sorry, they cried because they liked it. I should clarify that.
They cried. So now, how are you showing this? Do they have like a sort of a theater setup, or do they all have screens or something?
A lot of people have screens. Most of the time I try to get them to have a media company set it up. And then if they can do HD, I'll have them do HD, so it's all looks the same as we shot it. But you know, we do weddings that have 3 big screens set up, you know, whole media company running it, and they do photo montages and other stuff throughout the evening so they don't expect anything else to happen, and then play that at the end.
And actually, now that I think about it, I got married in '95, so we had a lot of footage, obviously being in the business and whatnot, and my wife was an editor at that time, so she had edited on tape, you know, amazing thing that took weeks to make, and we had like a little theater set up in one of the other rooms, and guests came in, and at that time that was pretty novel, you know, and we actually did steal a shot from the ceremony that happened a couple hours earlier, and we stuck a couple insert shots in there. That made a big hit. People were like, oh my God, that's them getting married, because we didn't have all the guests at our ceremony. So I guess I get it. I didn't really think of it that way, but...
Gosh, I just remember one of my buddies in the late 80s was probably doing same-day edits even before I was doing it, and he was doing it very uniquely. He had a VHS camcorder. He would lay down a song, then he'd come back and insert video shots over the song. He was doing this in camera.
How do we decide on what you charge?
Every region's different because it depends on where you live, how much your operating costs are. It's cheaper for me to produce than them in California because I don't have overhead like they do. But at the same time, when you start competing with the world market, you know, you want everybody's prices to start aligning, because if your work's as good as someone else's, but other people are undercutting each other, then it's kind of not a good thing. You want to have healthy competition.
Yeah, but when you say your work is as good as somebody else's, it gets to me now, if I were going to have an event, I'm picking it like an artist.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Everybody's stuff is different. Everybody has their style, and that's what, when a bride sees something, she's like, I like that, or like this. You know, that's
right. At that point, it's like a diamond, man. You can say, okay, my thing is X amount of dollars, and she'll say, well, this other guy's is less, and you can say that very well may be, but my thing is this much.
Yeah.
And if you want me, I love that. That's when you're really stepping up to a level.
I mean, it happens a lot. I'll have a bride contact me for a booking, and I'll talk to one of my friends somewhere else in the country, and he'll say the same bride's contacting them, and we both talk about how much they're trying to get you to price it for, because they're like, well, we have this budget, so can't you meet this? And, I always stick to our prices. This is what it costs. You take it or leave it. I'll book the date either way. So
we started videotaping weddings back in '86. Worked out of my home for 13 years, pretty modest prices, and then we moved into a storefront 7 years ago. And I had 11,000 square feet of retail space. So I had quite a bit of overhead. We went from doing 50 weddings a year, averaging about 5,000 a wedding, to 250 weddings a year. And we couldn't keep up. I didn't have the personnel, I didn't have the equipment. So then we raised our prices even higher. And we kept them up for about 2 years at those higher rates, quite a bit higher, until we got a handle on our backlog and our editing. Then we lowered our prices back. And we haven't raised our prices in 5 years now, but we're doing good volume. And we've become more streamlined in our editing.
But you're getting how much a wedding?
We average about 5.
Wow.
And how many weddings are you doing?
We do about 250 events a year out of our store.
That's a lot of events.
I guess we can talk about this. What kind of money do you charge to do these?
mine average about the same.
5. Wow. Okay.
We've had jobs go much higher, and I think all of us have had jobs probably approaching close to 30 by the time they add multiple events in cities and destinations. But we've actually filmed events in 17 different states and 10 countries now.
I did a wedding in the Middle East in December. I shot for a royal family out there.
A royal family?
Yeah, and I cleared above $50,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, now he's taking you out of
Because then
your
you're dealing
town
with totally different.
You're blocked.
Yeah, and for me, that's what I love about my job. I just kind of travel all over the world shooting these fabulous parties for people. I'm very boutique. I only do 20 weddings a year tops. And this year has been really difficult just because of the economy. It's not in vogue to have these lavish parties. Things have really kind of stripped down, but my previous years were just incredible. And last year, most of my bookings were averaging around $15,000. Now I'm shooting film, so my costs are much higher as far as with Super 8 and 16 millimeter, but that's kind of where I'm.
Oh, well, I guess it
it's
depends how
still
much film
coming
you're
through.
burning. Yeah, I mean, the Super 8's
Yeah.
cheap.
I wouldn't say cheap. I would.
They're almost the same cost, really.
The cost of Super 8 and 16. I use Spectra Film and Video, which is a great lab out in Burbank.
Now you probably get dailies on a disc or something.
I do it to hard drive, yeah. And now that I'm shooting HD, it's just kind of different. So we're formatting for 16:9.
So it's like you're doing kind of a Super 16 thing, but you're probably using a Bolex or something.
I'm using a Scoopik, a Canon Scoopik.
Okay.
It's a phenomenal camera. It was the 70s news camera.
Yeah.
And it's just great. It's got a great macro built into it. It's just, Joe shoots on it too. And it's just a lot of fun.
Camera. It's easy to load and switch,
Yeah.
and especially when you're on a live event. I can imagine having to
Well, what kind of loads can you put in there?
100-foot daylight loads.
Ooh, that's a
And
little
you can-
low.
It takes 30 seconds to put a new reel.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't jam.
Yeah. That's the thing we didn't really talk about. I mean, you got weather.
Yeah.
You got camera failure. I mean, it's not such a big deal when you're using
Digital.
Yeah, I mean, though they rarely fail.
But it still happens, and then you have stuff where you have a film load just not go through the camera with Super 8, and all of a sudden you're looking at it and you have a
Black.
fresh spanking new roll of film still in your camera.
Or you can have a fogged corner. I've had that. You can get a little clump of junk in there.
You can, yeah.
I know when I do a shoot, I have like 3 or 4 cameras. You can have your assistant load it, you got a new one go.
For me, I shoot film because I love that unknown. I came from a photography background. I just loved being able to play with my exposure and figure out like what my film stock was and what kind of film stock did I want to use to tell this story. I pre-plan it out. There is a little bit of pre-production that goes into every wedding as far as with timelines and things like that. So you can kind of map it out, and that's what I love about shooting film is that, I can shoot some reversal stocks for one thing and shoot, tri-X for another. And
Yeah, now you always shoot film?
not always, but a majority. That's kind of my niche market.